Let's take a look at what's going on with Dogecoin today, guys. Okay, so here is what I'm looking at on the Dogecoin chart. We were looking at these three yellow lines. These were the next three targets that I'd been looking at. We have these previous resistances. Ever since we broke out of this previous top, let's go to the daily time frame on Dogecoin right now. Ever since we broke this previous top and broke out of this Fibonacci retracement area that we'd been looking at for a while, we broke that top. The next spots that I was looking at are the previous resistances right here. These levels are we're sitting at .302, .350, and .449 approximately. I think that top one changed a little bit, but I'm basically looking at the previous resistances from the past. Came up, got resistance, started going down. Came up, got resistance, started going down. Came up, got resistance, started heading down. These were the next spots that I was looking at going to the upside after breaking that previous top. We came up, hit the first two lines. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can see. Came up, hit the first line, hit the second line. Looks like we're still above that second line right now, and it looks like we might be heading up to .446. Possibly. This is what I'm kind of hoping right now. So we have, let's go to the hourly time frame. This is the main thing that I'm watching right now. We have support, giving me this trend line going to the upside. Looks like we tested it right here and we're bouncing on it still, hopefully. Let's hope that we can continue to get support on this uptrend and bounce to the upside. The other thing that I'm kind of looking at right now is we have resistance. Well, we haven't got resistance right here, but we have these two resistances right here giving me this downtrend. Once we break that downtrend going to the upside, then we can start getting more bullish again. I mean, right now it does look like we're doing a little bit of consolidation, but I think we need to break that resistance. It looks like we're testing it right now. Let's see if we could break through that. If we can, then what I'm thinking is maybe targeting from the top to the bottom of this little triangle pattern, because we also have resistance. Let's go ahead and drag from the top to the bottom of this triangle to be conservative about it. It might be even looking like a flag pattern too, but let's do the triangle pattern first. So we target from the top to the bottom of the triangle, drag that to the breakout. Let's say we broke out something like that. That gives us that target of around .44632 approximately. The other thing that I was thinking though, like I was just saying, like we might be looking at maybe like a flag situation. I don't know. I mean, we had a big huge run up and then we're getting consolidation right now. I'm kind of curious if it could be like a flag pattern situation where we drag from the bottom of the pole to the top of the pole, and then if we could drag this to the breakout, something like that, then that puts us all the way up to around .604. So this is more of like a liberal target, and this one is more of that conservative target. I am super curious on what to do. Like if we come up to .46, that's kind of where I was thinking about taking profits, but I don't know, I'm kind of scared to do that because I don't know, I'm wondering if it's going to go higher than that. I have a feeling it is going to go higher than that, and I don't want to cash out too early. So yeah, these are the next two spots that I'm looking at. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit though, because we also have this resistance and this resistance. Let's go ahead and zoom out. So we have, let's go ahead and zoom out. All right, let's zoom in over here and zoom out in general. Okay, so we have this previous resistance and this previous top right there. Those are the next two spots going to the upside once we break out of these areas over here, because I mean, you can see right here, like this one, and this one, they're all kind of close together. Once we break out of this one, then the next one has a nice little move to the upside right here, and then if we broke out of that one has another nice move to the upside. I mean, there's like a big huge space right here and right here. These ones are all kind of close together, so that's why I'm kind of curious what's going to happen. If we break out of right here, then I'm kind of wondering if we'll go to the next spot sitting at .569, and it can just continue to go. I mean, I don't really know where it's going to stop right now, but I mean, I did have like a general, like I was thinking if my Dogecoin gets worth a certain amount, then I think I might try to pull it, but I'm not sure right now. I don't know. What are your guys' strategies on or what are you guys thinking about as far as taking profits? Are you guys like, do you guys have like a price that you're kind of shooting for? See, right now it does look like we are testing it. We're not just breaking through it, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm kind of curious if we're going to break through it, going to the upside, or if we're going to break to the downside. If we break to the downside, that might, well, okay, so we would still have this little support right here. We have support, support, right, support. So if we did break this uptrend, maybe something like this going to the downside, we could still watch this line. If we broke that bottom support line, this one with this support, and this support, this trend line right here going to the downside, then that's when I might start to get a little more worried that we might be heading to the downside. Or that might be a clue, in which case then we might have to start setting up the Fibonacci retracement chart, a new one and you would do that from the bottom of the run to the top of the run. Let's go to the 4 hour or maybe even the daily. I don't know, you could argue, you could probably argue that the bottom of the run maybe starts over here even. I don't know, it really kind of depends, but yeah, so you get the bottom of the run, get the Fibonacci retracement tool, drag from the bottom of the run to the top of the run, something like that. And then let's see, do something like that. And then let's say it did start breaking to the downside. The next spots that I'd be looking at are the Fibonacci retracement levels going to the downside. We haven't done that yet. Like I said, I'm really hoping that we can get that next leg up and start moving to the upside. If we break out of this right here, that previous top, then we can start maybe going higher as well, kind of like we did before. So those are some of the things that I'm watching on Dogecoin. Those are the next kind of levels that I'm watching. I'm really hoping that we can stay above this trend line and push to the upside. And I really want to see us break this resistance right here. Let's go back to the 1 hour time frame on Dogecoin. I want to see us break this resistance right here. That's going to be great. I look like we were about to do it. It looks like we're testing it right now. Let's see if we can actually break through it and start heading back up. Start moving up again, and maybe .466 would be the next target. Kind of lines up with that previous resistance up here, and this is kind of, like I said, this is kind of one of the targets that I'm kind of looking at, like to close, like to take profits on. So we'll see what happens, and let's see how far I can continue to go up. But let me know what you guys are thinking as far as taking profits. Let's take a look at Dogecoin and Bitcoin real quick. And these are other clues that might help us, decide whether we should take profits or if we should keep going. Okay, so, or if you want to, you know what I mean? So I'm on Dogecoin and Bitcoin right now. Basically, if this chart is going up, it's good for Dogecoin. If this chart is going down, let's go to the daily. If this chart is going down, then that's good for Bitcoin. Then when it's going down, you want to be in Bitcoin. When it's going up, you want to be in Dogecoin. All right, so here's what we're looking at on this chart. So we have, let's see, we have resistance, support, maybe something like that. Let's go ahead and draw our top, and then let's draw our bottom, something like this possibly. Maybe even adjust this a little bit because we're not really like breaking out yet. Maybe something like that. If we break that resistance, if we could break this resistance going to the upside, same thing on the other channel. Well, I don't know. See, this kind of looks the same thing. Triangle pattern or big, huge pennant flag pattern type thing. I mean, we could be looking at something like this. Let's see. Maybe something like this. Because we have this big run, the bottom of the pole somewhere around here and the top of the pole somewhere right there. If it is a bull flag, then we can drag from that area to that area, and that gives us that big huge target right there, which actually takes us up to the next previous resistance. Let's go to the daily time frame and zoom out. On this chart, like I was saying, if this chart's going up, then it's better for Dogecoin, and if it's going down, then it's better for Bitcoin. But we've been watching these resistances. We have resistance, broke that. That was the first good sign, and then we started heading up. We went and tested the next previous resistance, giving me this trend line. Came up, tested that, broke through it. Once we broke through this one, green candles, like hardcore green candles. And then we went up and tested the next previous resistance, something like that. broke through that, hardcore green candles. And now and then we came up and tested the next one. We have resistance right here, giving me that trend line, came through and broke through that one. The next spots that I'd be looking at, there's these ones right here that we're kind of hanging out on right now. Let's see if we could break out of this area. I guess we could probably even drag another line right here. Let's just do that for the sake of argument. Okay, so we have something like that. If we could break through that, have we done that yet? Let's zoom in. No, we haven't. Let's go to the hourly. Okay, so we're right around that area. If we can break out of that, then the next spot that I'd be looking at, like I was saying, is that next previous resistance up here. And from here to here is a nice big stretch, kind of like I was saying on the other chart. So if we can break out of that, the place that we're at right now, right here, then maybe we have a good shot of going to the next one. And that looks like a nice big area right there if we can continue to head up. We do need to break this resistance though. If we can, then that's going to be a good sign for Dogecoin. And like I said, Dogecoin has been outperforming Bitcoin in this whole area, so it's looking great for Bitcoin. I mean, this whole thing is great for Bitcoin. I want to see us break one more and at least do one more leg. That'd be amazing. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at on Dogecoin and Bitcoin. But I'm basically watching that resistance. If we could break through that, then that's going to be a good sign, and that's going to help. If we break out of this and start moving up, then I'm going to be more cautious about taking profits. I want to see it come up and then start having trouble and then heading down. If we come up here and start having trouble and start like breaking trends, then that's when I might start taking profits. I do want to see it like go up and then kind of start coming down though, if I'm going to start taking profits. So that's Dogecoin and Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin real quick because Bitcoin's killing it. Well, I mean, Bitcoin's killing it for sure. But let's go ahead and zoom out. I'm on the daily time frame of Bitcoin right now on Coinbase, the Coinbase chart. This is what I've been looking at, and you guys I've been talking about this for a while already. But we have a cup and handle pattern on Bitcoin. Basically, we have this cup, and then we have a channel pattern going to the downside, textbook cup and handle kind of thing. So what we would do is we would drag from the top to the bottom of the cup, drag this to the breakout, and the breakout is when it breaks the channel pattern. So we have that cup, and then we have the channel pattern going to the downside. Once it breaks that channel pattern going up, then we can target from the top to the bottom of the cup and drag that to the breakout. And that gives us a target of around 124,000, 123,000, 122,000, somewhere around there approximately. It really depends on where you drag from the top to the bottom right here. That's going to give you different targets, something like that. You know what I mean? So it really just depends where you're targeting, but that's kind of what I've been looking at is like around 122, 124,000, somewhere around there. And the things that I was talking about in some of my other videos that we have to do before we can get confident on that target is break the resistances. So we had, and we basically, we've done all three of them. So we had this resistance right here, that channel pattern resistance. We broke out of that one, boom, resistance, channel, trend line, broke that one, going to the upside. The next thing that I was looking at is this previous top right here. We needed to break that horizontal top. We broke out of that one, going to the upside. And then the last thing that I was looking at is this resistance and this resistance, giving me this trend line. We needed to break that one as well. We've done all three of them. We broke this one, broke the top, and then broke this trend line right here. So this looks like it's doing good, or it looks like we're on track to maybe come up to here. We're getting some nice green candles, and let's go back to like the 4-hour time frame so we can kind of like zoom in on it. I guess the other thing we could probably do, I don't really even want to do the technical analysis on the short term on this chart. Whoops, I went to the next one. Okay, I don't even really want to do the short term analysis on this chart because of how big of a target I have though. Why does it keep doing that? Okay. So yeah, let's do it though. So we have support. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these other lines. We don't really need them. We kind of know what's going on right now. So we have those two supports, and let's do a trend line, something like this. we're still on that uptrend. If we go to the 1 hour time frame, kind of like Dogecoin, the other thing that we're kind of looking at is we have a top, a bottom, bottom, something like that. Kind of looks almost like a double top right here. But let's go ahead and do that trend line, and then let's look at something like this. So if we could break that top, kind of looks like a double top, but the thing with the double top is it's like an M pattern. So it goes, you come up to the top, get rejected or get resistance, go down, get support, come up, hit that top again, and then you come down. But what you have to do for a double top is break that bottom right there. If we break that bottom, then you can drag from the top to the bottom of the M pattern or the double top, something like this. And then you would drag this to the breakout, something like that, if it broke to the downside. The double tops and the double bottoms are reversal patterns. So, but it's not, like I just said, like it's not, like right here, we would have had to go down for the double top to be in effect. We got support right here, and now we're bouncing to the upside. It kind of looks like we're getting a big run and then consolidation. All we have to do is just break that top, and then we have like another continuation pattern where it's kind of like a flag pattern where you can, I mean, a flag pattern is a continuation pattern, but this doesn't look like a perfect flag is my point, but it does have a nice big run, and then we have consolidation. So maybe we can drag from the top to the bottom of the pole, maybe something like that, and then drag that to the breakout, something like this. And that would give us our next target. Let's say if we can break through this top, then maybe we can be looking at 102,000 in the short term. We're still on this uptrend. Looks like we're moving nice. Let's see what happens though. The thing that I like to do though is when we have these big runs, like usually there'll be like a little trend, something like this. Maybe we broke that going sideways, so we have support giving me this uptrend. We broke it going sideways, but once we break trends, what I like to do is watch the top and watch the bottom. If it breaks the top, then we can start looking at the targets going to the upside. If we break the bottom, then that's when we could get a little more confident on looking at the targets going to the downside. Right now, it looks like we got support, bounce to the upside. All we have to do is just break that resistance going to the upside, and then we can start looking at maybe something like this. To be more conservative about it though, you could also just do this as a triangle pattern. So let's see, we drag from the bottom of the triangle to the top of the triangle, drag that to the breakout, something like this, and then that would give us a smaller target of around 93,737. So these could be the next targets potentially, but we do have to break that resistance going to the upside. Right now we don't know if we're going up or if we're going down still, because we're still in this little channel pattern or triangle pattern, whatever you want to call it. Kind of like a channel, but this one's the lows look like we're getting higher lows, and the highs look like they're kind of staying the same. So we have to break out of that resistance. Let's see if we can do that on Bitcoin. The other thing is, let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance, because this will also give us another clue on taking profits and stuff like that. If this chart, like on Dogecoin, should I say, if this chart starts heading down, then that would be a good sign for Dogecoin. So we have this big, huge rising wedge, kind of, not a perfect rising wedge, but we have this channel pattern that's going up. It's getting tighter and tighter. We're getting higher highs, higher lows, but they're coming in. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter, basically a rising wedge. Rising wedges are usually bearish patterns, meaning that they'll break to the downside when you get to the top. But this one looks like it's actually breaking to the upside, and that does happen in bull markets. So what we do then is drag from the top to the bottom of dragging from the top to the bottom of the channel or the wedge, somewhere in the middle, and then drag that to the breakout, and that's kind of the target that we're looking at as far as this little pattern goes. Like I was saying, so rising wedges are usually bearish patterns, meaning they break to the downside. If they break to the downside, then you start looking at the next previous supports, kind of like we did on Dogecoin, like how we had been doing on Dogecoin with the rising wedge that we'd been kind of talking about for a while. But like I said, this one's breaking to the upside, so this one's more of like Bitcoin's in control. But okay, so back to the point. If this chart starts going down, then that's going to be good for Dogecoin, and you might want to, like, I don't know, you might want to be a little more precautious about taking profits, because if it's going down, that might be another indicator that Dogecoin might be starting to pump even higher. But it does look like it's moving up right now. Let's see what else. We could look at Ethereum real quick. Looks like Ethereum's having a little bit of trouble. Let's go to this chart actually. We came up and hit my first target. We had 3 targets that we were looking at on this chart. We had a triangle pattern, we had a channel pattern, and then we had the cup and handle pattern. So we came up and we broke out of the resistance that we were looking at. We had resistance, resistance, support, support, support. We had a triangle pattern, broke out of that. Excuse me. We drag from the top to the bottom of the triangle, drag that to the breakout. Let's do something like this, drag that to the breakout, and that gave us a target of basically where we're at right now. So, whoops. That gave us a target of basically where we're at right now. So yeah, that's first target hit. And then we also have this channel pattern, something like this, where we have resistance, resistance, support, 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 giving me this channel pattern, something like that. We broke that channel, we broke that resistance right here, going to the upside. So what I would do in that case is drag from the bottom of the top of that channel, drag this to the breakout, and I'm looking at a target of around 3,886. And then the final target would be this cup and handle pattern, kind of like on Bitcoin. What we do is drag from the bottom to the top to the bottom of that flag pattern, drag it, I mean, not the flag pattern, the cup, and then we have the handle. We drag this to the breakout. The breakout, remember, is the channel pattern or the handle, the channel moving to the downside, or the handle right here. Once we break that resistance going to the upside, then we target from the top to the bottom of the cup, and that gives us that target of around 4,852, which also takes us up to the previous top. Right now, let's go to the 1 hour time frame and just kind of look at what's going on with the price, though. Let's see if we're moving up or moving down, or we're getting trouble. It looks like we had a uptrend. Wow, this one doesn't really look perfect, honestly. Maybe something like this. We are breaking this, going to the downside, but like I was saying, once we break the trend, I like to look at the top, and then I like to look at the bottom, just in case there's consolidation and it's not just breaking like down. I think if we break this bottom right here, let's see. So we have the bottom right here, top right here. If we break the bottom, then we could start getting more confident that it might be going down, going to the next Fibonacci retracement levels. If it bounces and continues to head up and breaks this top, then we can get more confident on maybe the next targets going to the upside. And the Fibonacci retracement levels, I mean, let's go. We haven't broken out of this Fibonacci retracement box. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. We have, well, actually, you know what? Let's get rid of this Fibonacci retracement toolbox, whatever, because let's see, how would we do this? So we have this big run over here, and then we started going down right there. So what we want to do is get the Fibonacci retracement tool, drag from the bottom of the run to the top of the run, something like that. We still haven't broken out of the previous high. So yeah, these Fibonacci retracement levels are still in play technically. So like I was saying, if we go to the downside, the next spots that I'd be looking at, the next Fibonacci retracements going up. And then the other thing that I'd be looking at, even going to the upside, are the next ones as well. Maybe we can find support on that 38% level and get a bounce and then start hitting up to the next one. This target kind of lines up with the red Fibonacci retracement level sitting at around what is it? Not dot. It's the 23% level at 3,802. Approximately, that's that red line right here. So that second target kind of lines up with that, and then the third target kind of lines up with the top. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it can continue to push to the upside, though. Like I was saying, let's go back to that hourly time frame. We're on an uptrend, but I'm watching the top and the bottoms right here. So that's what I'm looking at on Ethereum. Let's see, what else do we have? I think that about does it. Let's go back to Dogecoin and just like wrap it up real quick, or let's see what else we're looking at. Let's take a look at the moving averages. We haven't really been looking at. We don't really have to right now, I don't think. Watch, let's go ahead and pull up the moving averages. The daily time frame, we're like clearly above that moving average. We have the moving average right here, and basically if you're new to the channel or whatever, then when we are on top of the moving average, when the price is above the moving average, the 9 moving average and the 180 moving average, we have the 180 as the orange line and the blue one as the 9 moving average. When we're on top of it, we broke out of it right here, or well, ever since like right here, we broke to the upside of it, and ever since then we're getting support in it. Basically when we're on top of it, we get support in it and it pushes us to the upside. When we break below it, like over here, let's see, when we break below it, there's a couple instances that are pretty good. We broke below it right here. Every time we were coming into contact with it, we were getting resistance and pushing us to the downside. So we want to be on top of it so we can get support on it, as opposed to breaking below it and getting resistance and pushing us down on it. So so we're looking good on the daily time frame. Even the weekly time frame is looking amazing. We have the 9 moving average right here. We're getting super support on it. This one has been coming into play pretty hardcore. In my opinion, it looks pretty clear. We broke below it right here. Resistance, 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 downside, resistance, 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 downside. Broke above it right here. Support, 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 pushing us to the upside like crazy. And then let's go back. Let's go to the monthly time frame. This is another thing that I've been watching. Let's see, where's the monthly time frame? I think the monthly 9 moving average is right here. You can't really see it because the candle's hiding it. But if I click on it, if I click on this 9 moving average right here, you can see, or maybe it's right here. Let's see. Where's that? No, it's right here. The 9 moving average is right here. So yeah, we're clearly above it. The only thing with the monthly though is it seems like we get like big huge runs and then we start testing it and then we go to the downside again. So like we have over here, back here, we broke above it on the monthly, got support on it, pushed us hardcore to the upside, came down, got tested it, and then went straight back below it. So I'm kind of curious how long this is going to stay up. Like in this area right here, when we started getting this big movement, we were in it for a couple months. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 months of just green candles. We're on maybe like our second month right now. We have this nice green candle right here, and then now we're on the second green candle. So we're like on, what is this, 2 months? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's like 4 months here. Let's see. That'd be cool if we had like another 4-month run of Dogecoin or something like that, but we're gonna have to wait and see on that. In general though, we have the 9 moving average right here, clearly above it, looking amazing. If we can close this candle above the 9 moving average, maybe we could even go higher. We have 17 days and 11 hours to do that. So yeah, let me go back to like the daily time frame. Let's delete this. Let's go even to like the 1 hour or the 4 hour that I've been watching. Something like this. Okay, so like I was saying at the beginning of the video, or let's go to the 1 hour. Like I was saying at the beginning of the video, we have support, 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 giving me this trend line. As long as we stay on that, pushing to the upside, then we're looking good. And then we also have this little triangle or consolidation thing that's going on right now, where we have resistance or support, support, resistance, resistance, resistance. It looks like we actually did break through right now, and we are really testing it. Let's see if we could break through this one. Then we could start getting more confident on the next target, or the next target from the triangle pattern, and or the next previous resistance, and or maybe even a flag pattern. If we drag from the bottom of the run to the top of the run, maybe something like that pull, then we might be even looking at something like this, which takes us all the way up to around 0.63 or something like that. So those are the next targets and spots that I'm looking at on Dogecoin. Let me know what you guys are thinking as far as taking profits and stuff like that, or any other kind of questions you guys might have. Put them in the comments. I'm getting close to 10,000 subscribers, so if you could hit subscribe, that'd be amazing. And if you like these videos, please do so. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to check out the last video, check it out right here. And then if you are new to trading, check out this playlist right here. It'll help get you started with TradingView. All right. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And if you guys like the video, hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.